Keep watching Last Top TV. This is Ashley. Bye, guys. I'm 32. I have 7 kids. I was on drugs for 9 years. I was doing fentanyl. I was doing cocaine. Just about any drug that you could. I was into prostitution. I'm homeless.
Okay, this is Last Stop TV. Like as I always say, we bring you nothing but the best. Today we have our sister here, and who wants to share her story with us. And it's very nice story. You got to listen to it and have something good from it. Like take an advice from it. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. What is your name?
My name is Ashley.
Ashley. Okay, my name is Kofi. You know Kofi from Ghana,
Yeah.
Africa. Ashley, tell us something about yourself.
Well, I'm 32.
Can you speak loud?
Yeah, sorry. I'm 32 years old.
Mhm.
I moved to Dayton. Well, I'll start off. I have 7 kids.
You have 7 kids.
I do.
You are 32 years old and you have 7 kids.
I do.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. So I am from Cincinnati, Ohio, but I recently moved to Dayton, Ohio, so I could get clean from drugs. I was on drugs for 9 years.
Oh, you were doing drugs for 9 years.
Yes.
Okay.
I was doing fentanyl. I was doing cocaine. Just about any drug that you could do, I've done. I would say, I was into prostitution. I was homeless. I was doing the absolute most. I was doing any and everything you could to survive.
Oh, so you did prostitution alongside a drug.
Yeah,
Okay.
it kind of goes hand in hand with
Okay.
drugs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you enter into it? How did you get into the drugs?
So I was 14 or 15. A friend introduced me, but prior to that, I had a really shitty upbringing. Excuse my language, but I had been molested when I was a child.
Okay.
So there was a lot of trauma that happened. My dad died when I was a little kid.
Okay.
Yeah, I just had a lot of bad stuff happen to me as a kid. So when I was a teenager and I had some friends show me like, hey, this little thing can take away all the pain that you feel inside of your body and inside of your heart. So I took some pain pills for the first time.
Okay.
After I did the pain pills, it was like drinking and smoking marijuana. And after that, I slowly started doing heroin when I was 19.
19 years.
Yes.
Oh.
And then after that, cocaine got introduced to my life.
So who introduced you into the cocaine? Your same friend?
No, not the same friend. So at that time, my addiction had progressed. I was hanging out with drug dealers. I was selling drugs for these drug dealers. I was doing any and everything I could to get the drugs. So I was just around people who were doing cocaine, and I thought it would be fun to smoke cocaine.
Okay.
Probably the worst drug that I've ever done is cocaine because it's so powerful and so addictive. But yeah, I mean, I then had, like I said, I have 7 kids. So I was using
Okay,
And
he was also doing the cocaine, right?
he was doing cocaine and fentanyl, yeah.
Okay.
So 2 weeks after I entered rehab, he also entered rehab.
To rehab. So
and we had to move an hour and a half away from everybody we knew and everybody we loved to
Okay.
a city north of us called Dayton, Ohio, where we've created a better life for ourselves. Now we have an 8-month-old son. We have an apartment. He has a job. My other kids are with family. They're with my parents, and then 2 got adopted by my cousin. And sorry, I keep looking over. I have my baby next to me in the car.
So let me ask you this question: was your fiancé aware that you were doing prostitution?
He was.
He was aware,
Yes.
and he didn't care.
You know, he did. He definitely did care. But when you are on drugs, you kind of don't have any morals.
Okay.
You let all of your morals and all of your values kind of go out the door, and your brain, addiction is definitely a sickness in your brain. So
Okay.
it's not like, I guess I can compare it to like something that's manageable. So like if you have a sickness, you have to take medicine to get better.
Okay. Yeah.
Same with addiction. What you have to do to get better is do rehab and therapy, and some people take medicated assisted treatment, which is what I did. Every day I have to drink a little liquid called methadone, and it keeps my body from wanting to use drugs anymore. But yeah, to answer your question, he was very aware of my prostitution.
Okay.
But, you know, at that time, drugs, even now I'm sure, drugs are really expensive, and I was making a lot of money prostituting.
Okay.
So prostitution is how I afforded our drug habit and how I, you know, got food, even though we hardly bought food, but it's, you know, how we survived. And no, he didn't like it, and I hated it. I hated every freaking second of it. I felt downgraded. I felt disgusting, but I knew that after the prostitution acts were done, I was going to get drugs. So those feelings I felt in the moment of prostituting, I knew that as soon as I had those drugs, sorry, my son just got over from having,
No problem.
he was sick a few weeks ago.
Okay.
But I knew as soon as I stopped the prostitution and I got the money, I would go buy drugs, and the drugs would make me feel better. Because that was my brain at the time. My brain was telling me that the only thing I needed and wanted were those drugs, so I would do any and everything I had to
get
those
drugs.
drugs. Yes.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this question. You were doing the prostitution, so you could buy drugs for yourself and for your fiancé, right?
Yes.
So okay, so that is why your fiancé didn't care that much, because he was also getting something from it.
Yeah, like I said, he definitely cared that, you know, I was doing it, and he did not want me to do it at all.
Okay.
He actually told me multiple times to stop doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But the money that you get from prostitution is so much more than a regular job. I was making $200 every hour.
$200 every hour.
$200 every hour. For every hour that I chose
to work.
To work, yeah.
Okay.
$200 an hour. So you gotta think, you know, if I see 2 guys that day, that's
$400.
That's what some people make in a week. And
Yeah.
for 2 hours. And I didn't have to do things all the time. A lot of the times, actually, I wasn't partaking in sexual acts. If the guy would pay me $200 for the hour, I would have him come over. We would talk the entire time. I was kind of scamming them, if you want me to be honest. They would come over. I would talk to them for like 45 minutes, and then I would be like, oh man, we only have, you know, 15 minutes left.
15 minutes left.
What are we gonna do? And then they would feel bad for me, or I would make up any lie or anything that I could to not have to do sexual acts with them. So I would say 8 out of 10 times I was just scamming the people. But there were some times that I did have to do things. And
So is there any way you had a client that nearly took your life?
So I had one that, no, not took my life, but I have been robbed. I've been beat up. I've had to do things against my will.
Okay.
I've asked people to stop, like during the sexual act, and they wouldn't stop. Yeah, it was not good.
Okay, so now, before you advise people, the teenagers, what makes you think or what makes you feel like sharing your story to the world? What makes you feel like that?
You know, I think there are so many people that are struggling with addiction, and the addiction, I feel, is only, 1/4 of my story. The things I've done after I've gotten clean and the life I've been able to make for myself and my fiance and my new baby, just being clean for 14 months is astounding. And they say that 5% of people who try to get clean make it to their first year. The other 95% end up dead or in jail. I actually just lost, so my 6-year-old, she has a different dad than the baby, and her dad just died from an overdose. 2 months ago, it was October 6th of this year that he died from an overdose. I've lost so many friends. So I think just spreading awareness and, eventually, hopefully, making it to where people just don't do drugs at all, because it's going to ruin your life. It's going to ruin your family's life. I think one of the most important things I've learned since I've been clean from drugs is that when you're in active addiction, so when you're using the drugs, you're very selfish and you don't care about your kids, you don't care about yourself, you don't care about your family, and you really only care about yourself and the drugs and doing whatever to get those drugs. But I think one of the most important things I've learned is that addiction affects your entire family. Like, my mom and I never had a very close relationship at all. I was a pretty bad kid. I disobeyed my parents a lot, but since I've been clean, I have custody of my new baby, I have an apartment. My mom and I's relationship is just amazing. Like, we have gotten so close. And
I want you to get close to the camera and advise the youth coming, those in school. Please advise them on drugs, what not to do and what to do. Okay.
So I understand you guys may want to experiment, but I'm telling you first and foremost, it's not cool. Drugs aren't cool. It's not fun to use. You may start off drinking or smoking marijuana, but those drugs are going to lead to other things. Because once you're in that crowd of people who are using the drugs, you're going to keep progressing, and you're going to find different people who are doing other drugs. So it's just not a fun crowd of people. And I heard one time that you are who you hang out with. So if you want to, be on drugs and hang out with those type of people, that's how people are going to perceive you, even if you're not doing the drugs. So I would just say just don't do them. Live your life and don't experiment with drugs. It's not fun. It's really not.
Yeah, there is somebody who is now entering into drugs. Please don't do it.
Right.
Yeah, let me tell you, you're good, because it's 1 out of 1,000 who can come out publicly and say, I was doing drug, I was doing prostitution, and I don't need it no more. I want people to hear of me. Yeah, listen, he is my rider. She just got in the car. She has been talking to me, advising me, and I asked her, okay, ma'am, since you're advising me not to be on drugs, I have a YouTube channel, would you want to be on it? She said, yes, I would love to share my story with the world. I would love to share my story with the youth. So anybody who wants to go into drugs, do not go into it. And that is very good. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Thank you very much, because this is 1 out of thousands that will come out publicly to share the story, to share his or her story. And good. God bless you for that. God bless you for that. So it's good. Okay, can you advise the parents too? Can you advise the parents too?
Yeah, I think for the parents, definitely being honest with your kids and teaching them about drugs and the effects that the drugs can have on you. Just doing research and telling them, you know, you can go out and you can try painkillers, or you can try fentanyl, or you can do heroin or cocaine, but the odds are you're going to overdose and you could die, even though you may not. You know, the majority of people that do drugs have overdosed, and when you overdose, that's it. I mean, they can bring you back, but a lot of people don't come back. Like I said, I had just lost my kid's dad, my 6-year-old daughter's dad, from an overdose. So
from overdose,
being aware, being educated is very important, and just teaching your kids about all the different drugs and the effects that it can have on your body and on your mind. Like, addiction is definitely a disease. It is manageable and it is treatable, and I'm living proof that we do recover and we do get better, and I'm living it every single day.
Thank God for your life. Thank God you are saved now.
Thank you.
For almost 1 year, 6 months,
Yep.
you've not been on drug, and it's good. Now you have a newborn baby. I pray God help you to take care of him. Yeah, I know it's kind of difficult, because if you no more doing it, so you no more having the money you used to get to take care of yourself and the kids, so it's gonna be kind of difficult.
But I will say too, since I've gotten clean, my fiance and I, he has a job, so we're able to do everything normal. He works full time. We have our own apartment. We have custody of our child. We're about to get a car. Like, we're doing really well, and I would choose, you know, one bad day with my baby and my family and all of that over one good day doing drugs.
Thank you. So now you heard him. You heard her. Sorry.
Him.
No, I'm talking about you. I wasn't talking about your child.
Yeah.
You heard her. If you're about to get into drugs, please don't do it, because it may kill you. As she said, she lost her baby's daddy, right, through overdose, and that is very bad. So please do not get into drugs. So you said you have 7 kids. Who have been taking care of your kids for you?
My parents have 3 of them. My cousin has 1. My aunt adopted another, and then one of my sons is in foster care right now because I was using drugs when I was pregnant.
So the government took him from you, right?
Yeah.
And are you gonna get him back?
I'm working on it right now, so I'm in the middle of a trial. The government actually took this baby too, but not for drugs. So I fell asleep with him on my chest, and we were in the hospital, and the medicine I was on was way too high of a dose for me. So yeah, this baby got taken away. He was in foster care for 3 months.
Oh, so you were sleeping at the hospital whilst the baby was on your chest?
Yes, because because the baby was born early. So we had to stay in the hospital for like a month.
Oh, and because you were sleeping, they took him away from you because you were sleeping.
Yes.
And you had him on your chest?
Yep.
Yo, listen, Ghanaians, here, let me tell you, if you have babies, if you have children here and you don't take care,
you have to put them in the bed.
yes, you have to put him in the back, not on your chest.
Yep.
Listen to her.
It's important to put them on your chest when you're awake.
When you're awake.
But if you are tired, lay the baby down, because the baby can die, the baby can get suffocated, you can fall.
This is serious.
The baby can fall. Luckily, with me, my baby did not fall. I didn't drop him, but due to it not being safe to sleep with a baby on your chest like this, because you can suffocate them, you know.
So the government took your baby from you because you were sleeping and your baby was on your chest.
Yes, for 3 months. I just got my son back like 3 weeks ago. He came home for good 3 weeks ago.
So now you're going through trials, right?
Yeah, for my 2-year-old son, I'm going through a trial. Hopefully it's over in February, but I've been fighting for 2 years for my 2-year-old son to come home.
You've been fighting for 2 years?
2 years.
Sleeping, that you were sleeping and you had your baby?
No. The sleeping was for this baby.
Was with his baby?
Yes.
Okay.
But the 2-year-old that I've been fighting with, or fighting in custody with, that was because I was on drugs. The government took my baby because I was on drugs.
Oh, okay. So this one they gave him back to you.
Yes.
Later, you went to court and gave him to you.
Yes.
But they took the one on drug and it's 2 years. And
Yes, and I'm still fighting for him. I'm still going to court. The only reason now that they want to keep my son from me is because he has a bond with his foster mom. But to my understanding, it's not illegal. They can't keep my baby because he has a bond with his foster mom. Yeah, it's
okay.
crazy.
Okay. Now my name is Kofi Appiah, and
I'm Ashley.
okay, Ashley. So nice meeting you. Very good woman. Thank you for sharing your story with the whole world. She said, let me share my story with the world. And that is good of you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank
Your family Linda Ajekum. Dodona family Linda. Ni Ghana ni ya umi Ghana. Say, sikam pim and I'm investing into that business no. Within 6 months, come for say omu luti. Midina salon ni mahuma chi 4 and I'm sorry, and it is ye do a side ho. Omu ba omu di emma and in that dear. Inti won to me in siano. Na midina me salon. Na omu piano si from no more sister salon ni muniama. I lost everything. I did be am back home how maybe me sweat be sikam be in na me invest into that business ni. Luti na mama shri bibia me. Bi drag me ka craving ka nipa ni kumi. Itu a yedi a kire me ne me mba so. Na just ye nam kwan so na se ye kofia. Na domu share o kwan so a enye easy. Na ma fa ifunu. Ye di tu share me so. Ama me do fie me miscarriage. Life in South Africa. I'm trying to be strong.